Welcome to Ethiopia today.
Xenophobia is on the rise in South Africa. Scholars weigh in on the migrant question. International migration in South Africa, particularly as it relates to the labor market, is a highly contentious topic. We, the undersigned migration scholars, want to share relevant information about this important topic, the conversation reports. Our work shows that international migrants make up only a small percentage of the South African population, and that the overall effect of international immigration on the labor market is not detrimental. Preliminary data analysis from the 2021 round of the South African Social Attitudes Survey by the Human Sciences Research Council finds that most South Africans see foreign nationals as a threat. Many believe they are a major source of unemployment and other socio-economic problems. The general public appear to be misinformed about the impact of migration and how it affects the national labor market. Many of the main misconceptions are anchored in an overestimation of the number of foreign-born nationals in the country. As the undersigned, we are committed to developing effective policies and interventions that will provide South Africans with the economic and physical security they deserve. We also do not wish to dismiss the daily economic and social hardships they face. To do this, we need to ensure our interventions are founded on the best available facts. We aim to provide the most relevant and reliable evidence around migration, and labor migration in particular. How many foreign nationals live in South Africa? Existing public opinion data shows that the general public is woefully misled about the size of the non-national population. But the numbers tell a different story. Estimating migration is quite complex in that movements are not universal, may or may not occur, and can occur repeatedly. Nevertheless, Statistics South Africa has been able to estimate international migrant flows in the country. The primary source for these estimates has been 3 national censuses it's conducted since the democratic transition of 1996, 2001 and 2011. The 2022 census is currently underway. Stats South Africa estimates net immigration to be 852,992 people between 2016 and 2021. In 2011, Stats South Africa estimated that the number of people in the country who were born outside South Africa stood at 2.2 million in census 2011. The total population in South Africa at that time was about 52 million. More recently, Stats South Africa estimates that there are about 3.95 million foreign-born people living in the country at the midpoint of 2021. This is a relatively small percentage of the overall national population, which stood at around 60 million. The United Nations Population Division estimated that in 2015, there are about 3.2 million foreign-born people in the country, or 5.8% of the total population. In 2019, this estimate had climbed to 4.2 million, or 7.2% of the nation's total population. These statistics counter erroneous suggestions that there are tens of millions of undocumented migrants in South Africa. It is not possible for Stats South Africa to identify the number of undocumented migrants living in the country. However, demographic registration data clearly and unequivocally shows that claims about millions of undocumented migrants living in the country are false. There is no evidence that international migrants are a major cause of unemployment in South Africa. An analysis of labor migration done by the World Bank in 2018 showed that for every employed migrant in South Africa, 2 jobs were created for South Africans. A report published in 2019 by Stats SA showed that international migrants are more likely to be employed than internal migrants and non-movers. However, the work that foreigners generally do does not conform to the decent work framework of the International Labour Organization. In 11 of the subdomains on this framework, the score for international migrants was worst in 8 of them. It would seem that many foreigners are working in indecent conditions. A recent investigation into the informal sector showed that many migrants working in the informal economy are very vulnerable. This group was more likely than non-migrants to have poor working conditions. About half, 55.6%, had not made contributions to the South Africa's Unemployment Insurance Fund, and 40.5% had no employment contract. Of those with a contract, 41.3% had one with an unspecified duration. One of the main talking points around international migration relates to the participation of foreigners in the labor market. Whether looking at the population and housing census of 2011 or the labor migration modules in the quarterly labor force survey of 2012 and 2017, foreign participation in the various sectors of the labor market is constant at a maximum of 10 to 12% per sector. There is no reason to suspect that this may have increased significantly since 2017. All spheres of government have a responsibility to manage migration with a human rights approach, which is enshrined in South Africa's constitution. Local governments, in particular need to understand and protect the rights of foreign nationals living in their jurisdictions. Most municipalities do acknowledge the importance of counting their populace to plan better for everyone within their jurisdiction. However, there is often a gross misalignment between services provided and the number of people actually living in a municipality. This is principally due to the paucity of knowledge or skills to translate demographic data, to understand changes in their population composition, structure, and location. Migration data is vital. Better understanding of migration flows would assist local government officials recognize the contribution of internal and international migration to population change. In addition, it would help them profile migrants in their spaces to understand economic activity they are engaged in and develop economic and skills transfer programs to benefit their local population with observed migration patterns. South Africa has many problems, including an unemployment crisis. Official unemployment is now close to 35%, but the data presented indicates that apportioning these problems, including unemployment, to migrants would be wrong. It is imperative that the country develop policies to tackle the challenges based on sound evidence, and that they're implemented from this perspective. South Africa is a signatory to the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration as well as the Global Compact for Refugees in 2018. The non-binding agreements provide a blueprint for migration and refugee governance. Both seek to protect the rights of migrants and set out how countries can do this. It is the country's obligation to aspire to the objectives of these agreements and to manage the opportunities that migration presents from an evidence-based perspective.
Are you looking to earn working remotely, from anywhere with maximum flexibility and convenient? Do you have a talent or services to offer to your clients? You have great chance of working on several jobs or projects for multiple clients at one time. Or are you a business owner or employer who are looking for hiring freelancer to work on your project? Well, if that's yes, please click the link below to learn more about and get started.
Thanks for staying with us. If you enjoyed our presentation, give us a like and share to your social contacts. And also don't forget to subscribe and tap on the notification bell if this is your first time. Please also check on our collection of favorites on the description section below. See you on our next video. Many thanks.